Welcome back to the Cosmic Awakening podcast. I am Makāula Nakae, a lifelong experiencer and ET contactee since 1990. I have a wealth of insights and stories to share from decades of lived experiences spanning spiritual, interdimensional, and extraterrestrial contacts. Cosmic Awakening Part 2, 2012 Ascension Syndrome. Chapter 3, Golden Alchemy. Episode 15, Expansion of Happy Brain Chemicals. The day following the events of February 16, 2012, brought about an unusual occurrence. My body temperature seemed to fluctuate erratically, accompanied by a mild feverish sensation, akin to the onset of a cold. Despite this, I didn't exhibit full-blown cold symptoms. Rather, I felt the pervasive warmth emanating from my sacrum. Given my familiarity with activations around the sacrum, typically associated with the rise of Kundalini energy, I remained unperturbed. This phenomenon often induces heat in the sacrum region as the overall vibrational frequency, encompassing the aura, escalates, leading to a denser energetic state. Subsequently, the sacrum's warmth initiates the spine's activation, gradually ascending upwards along the spinal cord. My sacrum experienced intermittent warmth throughout the day, followed by a similar sensation spreading along my spine. I anticipated a moment of respite when I concluded my work around 8 p.m., which primarily involved conducting a Reiki teacher training course focused on theoretical aspects, rather than practical vibrational work. However, the sudden onset of drowsiness thwarted any hopes of relaxation. Feeling the same drowsiness as the previous night, I ventured out to the lanai, gazing up at the night sky, contemplating the possibility of the spaceship's return. A massive star occupied the same spot as the night before, yet its luminance appeared more typical, lacking the extraordinary brilliance witnessed previously. While my attention fixated on the star, my third eye stirred, albeit with a subdued intensity compared to the prior evening. Sensing the onset of an impending event, I reclined on the bed, awaiting developments and enlisting the aid of the non-physical medical team for healing. Subtle adjustments commenced, their effects so delicately nuanced that they barely registered. Gradually, brain chemicals were released, infusing my consciousness with a sense of increasing well-being. Subsequently, a dense luminosity emanated from the region between my right and left brain hemispheres, known as the Corpus Callosum, manifesting as a column of pure white fluid enveloping my forehead. Entranced by the sensation, I observed as the luminosity expanded and traversed its course. Beginning at the Corpus Callosum, it gradually ascended toward the crown of my head, then descended toward the base of the neck, permeating the sphenoid bone where the skull connects to the spinal cord. Simultaneously, it radiated toward the left and right temporal lobes, suffusing my head with a profound sense of euphoria, extending even to the depths of my eyes and nose. This widespread diffusion of happiness neurotransmitters marked a novel experience, unlike any previous encounters. Henceforth, the continuous flow of joyous neurotransmitters extended unabated, coursing from the right side of my neck to my right shoulder and mirroring its trajectory from the left side of my neck to my left shoulder. At this juncture, the dissolution of Samskaras commenced as the euphoric sensation permeated my neck and shoulders. Samskaras' dissolution in this region had occurred several times, leading me to believe there was only a little residue left. Yet, I needed clarification. There remained more than anticipated. However, the process was less painful than in its initial stages, rendering the dissolution relatively gentle and less severe. The dissolution current traversed from my shoulders to my upper arms, descending to my wrists and to my fingertips. The most intense dissolution transpired during the movement, particularly from the mid-arm to the wrist, and extended to encompass my palms and fingers. Subsequently, it expanded to envelop my left and right shoulders, arms, and fingertips, gradually encroaching upon my upper body. As the euphoric neurotransmitters gradually propagated downwards from my chest, the dissolution of Samskara around my chest, while not as intense as its onset, remained a subdued experience akin to the other regions. However, a notable deviation from the customary dissolution emerged. With the spreading of joyous vibrations, I discerned a peculiar sensation of my chest expanding and thickening, akin to a balloon inflating. The sensation emanated from the heart center within the chest, causing it to adopt a spherical form. In what is light body, it is elucidated that each chakra ultimately transitions from a conical to a spherical shape. Will similar changes occur to each chakra in the future? As I lay on the bed horizontally, I sensed a round, pulsating balloon atop my chest, gradually exerting a gentle pressure that felt oddly comforting. This ballooning sensation extended towards the area around my chin, creating a subtle upward push sensation. Considering the proximity to the throat chakra, the subsequent changes might manifest in the throat region. Euphoric neurotransmitters, having traversed from the chest through the center of the pigeon tail, began to permeate the upper part of the small intestine and spread toward the back of the chest, albeit not with the same intensity observed in the head. The upper body gradually became saturated with these neurotransmitters, with the highest concentration observed in the head, particularly in the back of the forehead and the corpus callosum. As I contemplated the influx of happiness into the upper part of the small intestine, changes emerged in the pubic bone region, followed by undulating movements in the lower abdomen. Although not particularly vigorous, these movements were perceptible and reminiscent of discomfort in the bladder muscles. Subsequently, as activation and undulations spread towards the sacrum, I was astonished to perceive the diffusion of happy neurotransmitters into this region. While the sacrum and coccyx had undergone occasional clearing in the past, the process differed in intensity this time. Initially localized to a specific area, the clearing gradually spread throughout the sacrum, accompanied by the application of pure white vibrations from the entire sacrum to its surroundings, unprecedented in its extent and density. This spread elicited a sensation of calm happiness, contrasting with the localized warmth typically experienced in the sacrum. As the process extended towards the tips of my feet, enveloping both toes and foot pads, I experienced a sensation of lightness and swelling, akin to a gentle foam. This sensation, markedly different from the sharp dissolution of Samskaras in the shoulders, arms, and wrists, imparted a profound sense of pleasure and ease akin to that felt in the fingertips and palms. The most challenging phase of this process was from the ankle to the knee, extending to the lower thigh. While I could perceive the infiltration of happy neurotransmitters in these areas, the sensation was comparatively weaker than in other regions. An intriguing observation surfaced as I documented this experience on my blog. When I directed my focus towards my thighs, a surge of happy neurotransmitters ensued, eliciting a sense of well-being simply through writing. I could intentionally summon these neurotransmitters through conscious attention to the body. This time, the diffusion of happy neurotransmitters was notably more widespread than usual, departing from its typical localized pattern. Reflecting on the journey thus far, it became evident that the dissolution of held Samskaras within the body was imperative for propagating the sensation of happy neurotransmitters. The accumulation of heavy vibrations from Samskaras throughout the body hindered the light's penetration, a subtle vibration inherent in happy neurotransmitters. While the appearance of happy neurotransmitters had spread to nearly all parts of the body this time, it had yet to reach the liver, the entire small intestine, or the depths of the femur, suggesting the possibility of similar occurrences in the future. Although the journey spanned approximately 2.5 hours, a considerable duration, it seemed to pass swiftly as I pursued the sensation of happiness. Towards the conclusion, I noticed a gradual waning of my overall happiness, accompanied by a return to my body's normal vibrational frequency. However, a new challenge arose. I found myself unable to sleep, despite feeling drowsy. Strangely, I lacked the motivation to engage in work, writing, or research, and my mental faculties felt dulled, akin to the state following a soothing massage. Consequently, I whiled away the time watching online programs until around 4 a.m. before finally retiring to bed, only to awaken naturally at my usual time. A peculiar incident punctuated this awakening. I roused from sleep upon hearing a loud, distinctly male voice outside my room, repeatedly uttering the word, "bitch." Surprisingly, my roommate, preparing for work in the hallway, was oblivious to the commotion, indicating a shift in my auditory perception during this period, where sounds often perturbed me. To be continued. Watch and listen. Watch the cinematic video trailer. Listen to the full podcast now. Explore the archived Cosmic Awakening, Part 1, Sacred Valley of the Incas. Volume 2, Ascension 2012, The Golden Alchemy. Part 3, The First Contact. Join the journey. New episodes drop periodically. Each chapter delivers a tight, hyper-focused 10 to 30-minute hit of real-life experiences, perfect for your daily plunge into consciousness exploration. Subscribe to support your inner development. thumbs up to help push our channel through the algorithm. Comment below, share your thoughts on today's exploration.